Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to Sims Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be reviewing Local Heavens. This is a cyberpunk retelling of Great Gatsby. This shit was fire! It was amazing, honestly. First of all, I love that the author, Fajardo, I hope I pronounced it correctly, I love that they went really into that whole queer aspect. Because let's face it, you read Great Gatsby, there have always been a lot of queer undertones, especially between Nick and Gatsby, right? It's always been there. And I like that the author did explore that. However, it breaks your heart because they explore it near the end of the book. Because the book is still about Daisy and Gatsby. But you can see, Gatsby's desires for Nick and how they slowly come up and how they want to be a bigger and better person for Nick, I thought it was just such a beautiful retelling. I didn't know if I was going to like it as much as I did just because of the cyberpunk aspect. I like Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk 2077. I can't play that game because it's first person, because I suck at first person, but I have watched, and I love Cyberpunk, as a genre. But I didn't know if it was going to work with Gatsby. I didn't quite know, but it did, and I loved how, I had little crazy eyes there for a second. I love how the author was able to capture the essence of Fitzgerald's Gatsby's, and reinvent it. Some of those same instances still kind of happen. Daisy's got her kid, she's in an abusive relationship with a man who cheats on her. And hates how much richer, she is even without him. And then, you do have the affair aspect, and there's a lot. But I also liked the generational loan aspect of the story. It made me think of Repo Man. Sometimes when I was reading it. The movie with Jude Law. I keep thinking, damn, gonna start harvesting your cybernetic parts to pay back your loans, man. It really was a really good story. I like Nick as a character and their evolution. From beginning to end, there is a really good evolution of Nick as a character. And I think by the end, when you think of Nick, you never see that moment where they just kind of explode on Gatsby, right? Because Gatsby was just using him to get close to Daisy again. Using anyone to get back to Daisy. Be like, hey Daisy, I'm the dude you fell in love with ages ago. Do you remember me? So I like that Nick holds him accountable by the end of it. Because his actions and his relationship with Daisy caused something catastrophic to happen, including the death of, his mistress, whose name, I'm always forgetting her damn name. Whatever. I ain't much like her in any iteration of the book, just like Daisy. I always hate Daisy. I don't like Daisy at all. Not at all. She, once again, continues to not deserve him. Jay could do so much better. Like Nick. So I love that you finally get to see Nick kind of explode on Gatsby near the end and really just say, hey, you are a piece of shit. I want you to know that. You did all this for a chick who doesn't even deserve you. Is definitely not gonna leave her husband for you. So what the fuck, right? So I like that there is that moment where Nick challenges Gatsby. And Gatsby kind of owns up to it in a way. It's a really good story, honestly. I can't recommend it enough. I want to try to put everything in my notes. I want to say them in a way that it's not just like gibble gobble and word vomit, because it really is such a good story. You know, there really is good characterization. I love how the cyberpunk aspect really built up the story and captured the essence of it, you know, but elevated it. Because you're still dealing with classism, obviously. You're always, in any sort of a version of Gatsby, you have to deal with classism. But now you aren't just dealing with classism. You're also dealing with queerness. And it's out. It's not something that is kind of like subtle hinting to, as in with Fitzgerald. It very much is futuristic, but also relevant to the current times. You know, that queer aspect. I like that the author really delved into it and just made it come alive. Like, there is no discussion about Nick's sexuality. They are, you know, I feel like considering bi or pan, honestly, is what Nick is. And Gatsby's totally bi. Totally bi for Nick, at the very least, you know. I think it's a really good way to tell a story, to make it current, to make it relatable, but also give it that futuristic edge, while also keeping intact the core essence of classism that is in Fitzgerald's Gatsby's. Because remember, Gatsby only becomes like a smuggler bootlegger in order to get money so that he can win the heart of the rich girl, because she wouldn't marry him because he's poor. Like, wouldn't marry you because you're poor? Come on. Like, oh, she's so shallow. She's always so shallow. Like, I really hate Daisy. I've never liked Daisy. I'm never going to like Daisy. There's no iteration of Daisy that I'm going to be like, oh, I feel so bad for you. No. Like, you chose this bastard. You could have been happy with that guy. But you wouldn't have been happy because you're a shallow, superficial bitch. Not sorry. In any case, I love that the author kept intact the story and the essence of the story and everything that is all about the story, but gave it, like I said, that futuristic cyberpunk edge to make it really good sci-fi. But you know, it's a thought-provoking novel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to discuss it at my friend's book club, because it was their book club pick. So yeah, it was just really good. I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. Honestly. Like, 5 out of 5. I have no regrets. My only regret is the US cover kind of sucks. But I really love that UK cover. So maybe I'll buy that version. We'll see. In any case, thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.